While Doflamingo's latest move throws everything into further disarray, the Sunny and its crew reach Dressrosa's shores. It doesn't take long before they encounter a mesmerizing dancer, a formidable stranger, as well as the island's unusual occupants.
On the next One Piece, explore a kingdom of love and passion. Dressrosa, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
The Straw Hats are in utter astonishment when the mysterious blind man reveals just how powerful he truly is. Meanwhile, fighters hailing from all across the New World gather in the Coliseum before the historic battle begins, each gladiator eager to fight for a chance to win the amazing grand prize.
On the next One Piece, full of enthusiasm, the Coliseum, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
The desperate battle for the Flame Fruit is about to come to a head. At the same time, Sanji has a fateful encounter with an enchanting young flamenco dancer. And when the two run away together, the situation becomes even more complicated.
On the next One Piece, a dangerous love, the dancer girl Violet. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Disguised as an anonymous competitor, Luffy infiltrates the Coliseum where he meets the other fighters, a wide variety of criminals, assassins, and vicious New World pirates. As nefarious plots unfold to claim the Flame Fruit, Luffy springs into action.
On the next One Piece, a formidable unknown warrior. Here comes Lucy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
A stunningly handsome Cavendish worth over 100 million berries reveals his frightening motive for seeking the Flame Fruit, declaring that he'll slaughter Luffy and his fellow rookies to get it. As a fresh sense of panic sweeps through the Coliseum, Luffy meets a mysterious and lovely female fencer.
On the next One Piece, a pirate noble, Cavendish. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
As the competitors are revealed, Luffy comes face to face with yet another opponent who hopes to win the Flame Fruit. And his ambitions are every bit as wild and selfish as the rest. Surprisingly, this all-too-familiar foe is someone Luffy already battled during his time in Mocktown.
On the next One Piece, the fateful reunion, Bellamy the Hyena. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The block beam matches are finally getting underway. While Bellamy dispatches his opponents with ease, a ruthless contender worth over 100 million suddenly bursts onto the scene like a comet, and his unusual behavior soon throws the entire Coliseum into an uproar.
On the next One Piece, a super rookie, Bartolomeo the Cannibal. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The mysterious swordsman Ricky, the Longfoot warrior Blue Gilly, the fishman fighter Hack, and a slew of other strong contenders rise to the top. As the tournament continues to heat up, Bartolomeo finally unleashes his powerful secret ability, which leaves everyone in the Coliseum dumbfounded.
On the next One Piece, big names duke it out. The heated block bead battle. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Elizabello II has finally finished warming up. Now he's ready to unleash a punch that can reduce entire fortresses to rubble. As the Blockbeat battle enters its last stage, the legendary king employs his mighty attack against the capable warriors who still stand.
On the next One Piece, a deadly blow, the astonishing King Punch. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Law's team crosses a strange bridge on the way to Greenbit to hand over Caesar. They soon realize that the structure is far more perilous than they thought. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, Law pulls off a miraculous surprise move.
On the next One Piece, the Fighting Fish Strike, across the deadly Iron Bridge. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Sanji is devastated to learn Violet's true colors. Elsewhere, Usopp and Robin part ways with Law and begin to explore Greenbit. As the two investigate the forest of giant plants, they come close to discovering the secret of Dressrosa's legendary fairies.
On the next One Piece, explore Fairies Island, Greenbit. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Sanji's relentless passion turns his precarious situation upside down. Meanwhile, Usopp and Robin are captured when they learn that the fairies are really miniature people. Once they're awake, they're introduced to the curious world of a lively civilization known as the Tontatta Tribe.
On the next One Piece, the unknown world, the Tontatta Kingdom. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The Block C battle is underway. The crowd explodes with excitement as Luffy defeats foe after foe. Elsewhere, Law finds himself helpless when he discovers that Doflamingo has executed a cruel and cunning deception, which poses a dire threat to Dressrosa.
On the next One Piece, the stratagem of the century, Doflamingo makes his move. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Fujitora battles with Doflamingo and Law tries to stall them while waiting for the Straw Hats. When Fujitora draws his sword to attack, both of the warlords are paralyzed with fear. The new admiral's might is far greater than they could have anticipated.
On the next One Piece, shaking heaven and earth, Admiral Fujitora's power! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Lucy continues his valiant run atop Brutal Bull. Just then, another warrior appears to challenge him. His name is High Rootin, a fierce pirate mercenary who hails from Elbaf's newest generation. Now, an epic showdown begins between Lucy and the would-be king of all giants.
On the next One Piece, a blow of anger, a giant versus Lucy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
As the battle for the Flame Fruit turns white hot, Lucy faces off against Destruction Cannon Ideo, a fighter with unusually massive shoulders. Known for his devastating punches that can launch even giants into the air, Ideo poses a daunting challenge for Lucy.
On the next One Piece, Destruction Cannon Blasts! Lucy in trouble! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Luffy struggles in battle after losing his helmet, and as things become increasingly dire, Jinzhao finally catches him. A famous pirate once worth 500 million versus a rookie worth 400 million. When these two heavy hitters clash, the confrontation will be unforgettable.
On the next One Piece, the legendary pirate, Don Jinzhao! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The corridor Coliseum roars with excitement as the battle between Luffy and Jinzhao is nearing its climax. Meanwhile, Frankie and the one-legged soldier are drawing ever closer to uncovering the profound darkness that hides behind Dressrosa's cheerful exterior.
On the next One Piece, Light and Shadow, darkness behind Dressrosa. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
As thrilling battles unfold in every direction, Usopp and Robin accompany the little people of Tontatta in their mission to destroy the evil factory. Now, after 4 centuries, the world will experience a tale of a brand new hero, the incredible Usoland.
On the next One Piece, making a sortie, the legendary hero Usoland. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
After Jinzhao's bitter history is revealed, the battle to determine the strongest contender in Block C comes to a head. As Luffy and Jinzhao unleash the full brunt of their abilities against each other, their ultimate techniques will tear through the very earth and sky.
On the next One Piece, the fierce battle coming to the end, Lucy versus Jinzhao. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
After winning the Block C title, Luffy is reunited with the mysterious gladiator Rebecca. When the two of them enter the darkness of Dressrosa together, Luffy learns the secret of her tragic plight, as the determined young warrior shares the tale of the cruel fate she bears.
On the next One Piece, Luffy and the gladiator of fate, Rebecca. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
On the night that utter tragedy befell Dressrosa, young Rebecca lost everyone she loved. Although she and the one-legged soldier survived, the pair were forced to live their lives on the run. Now the story behind the close bond they share is finally revealed.
On the next One Piece, protect you to the end, Rebecca and the toy soldier. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Despite the storm of boos and jeers from the crowd, the battle for Block D kicks off. Rebecca's situation appears to be hopeless when every other competitor suddenly sets their sights on defeating her. Meanwhile, a revolution to change the fate of Dressrosa is picking up steam.
On the next One Piece, the last and bloodiest block, Block D battle begins! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The heartless Doflamingo reveals the shocking truth to Law, while Chopper's team, after having been transformed into pieces of art, attempts a last-ditch effort to launch a counterattack. Thus begins the intense final face-off against Giola to rescue the Thousand Sunny.
On the next One Piece, a decisive battle, Giola versus the Straw Hats. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
As the fierce competitors of Block D continue to clash, hoping to win the coveted prize, one man steals the spotlight away from all of them. This spectacular figure is known as Pirate Noble Cavendish, and soon he will brandish his mighty blade of sheer beauty.
On the next One Piece, beautiful sword, Cavendish of the White Horse. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
When all hope seems lost for Nami's group, Sanji appears just in time. Although Doflamingo's power easily defeated Trafalgar D. Law in the past, this monstrous villain is about to contend with Sanji's scorching leg attacks. And so, their epic showdown is set in motion.
On the next One Piece, a big clash, Sanji versus Doflamingo. I'm gonna be king of the pirates! Subscribe, you guys! Join our crew